If you're here, you probably typed "how to meditate" into the search bar after realizing your mind has become a relentless, noisy, unmanageable mess. Good news, you're in the right place. Even better news, you're not going to get the usual flowery nonsense about aligning your energy or breathing through your chakras. I'm here to show you how to meditate in a way that actually works, especially if you're an overthinker, a skeptic, or someone who's already tried and failed. And if you stick with me until the end, I'll give you a free guide that breaks it all down step by step. No fluff, no mysticism, just practical methods that work for real people with real minds. Trust me, you're going to want this. Before we get into the how, you need to understand something critical. And this part might make you uncomfortable. That's intentional. Because right now, meditation is being sold to you like it's some harmless wellness trend, like green smoothies or gratitude journals. But here's the reality no one talks about. When done wrong, and it's almost always done wrong, meditation isn't harmless. It can crack you open in ways you are absolutely not prepared for. And the people pushing these techniques? Most of them have no clue what they're actually playing with. Ever wonder why cults, yes, actual cults, use meditation techniques as part of their brainwashing playbook? It's because meditation can break down your critical thinking if you don't know how to anchor yourself properly. Done recklessly, meditation lowers your psychological defenses, blurs the line between internal thought and external reality, and opens the door to manipulation techniques that have been used for centuries to fracture people's sense of self. And if you've been piecing together your practice from a patchwork of viral TikToks, random apps, and self-appointed Guru Wankabis, you are already standing on dangerous ground. Most people think the biggest risk of bad meditation is just wasting time. That's naive. The real risk is dissociation, where you start to lose the ability to distinguish between thoughts and reality. Done wrong, meditation can trigger emotional blunting, where you detach from your own feelings because your brain mistakes stillness for numbness. Worst case? You start to feel like you're floating outside your own life, watching yourself from a distance, cut off from any sense of who you are. That's not deep meditation. That's the early stages of psychological destabilization. And it gets worse. The more you train your brain to associate stillness with threat or emptiness, which is exactly what happens when you force yourself into silence without proper preparation. The more you rewire your neural pathways for hypervigilance, compulsive thought spirals, and vulnerability to external control. That's why cult recruiters, and I mean the real ones, love finding people with half-baked meditation practices. They're already primed for suggestibility because they've been training themselves to detach without ever learning how to ground. And here's the kicker. Most of the techniques people follow today weren't even designed for people with modern overstimulated nervous systems. They were lifted from monastic traditions, created for people who spent their entire lives in controlled environments, cut off from the relentless overstimulation you deal with every day. If you try to apply those techniques to a brain that's been trained by smartphones, news alerts, and years of chronic stress, you're not meditating. You're pushing your nervous system into adaptive overload. And who's teaching you this garbage? The spiritual bros who discovered mindfulness last week, the Zenpreneurs who figured out there's money in selling you 7-day meditation challenges, and the crap astrologers who couldn't explain the difference between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system if their life depended on it. They're feeding you random breathing exercises with no context because they don't actually know how the human brain processes threat or stillness. You are not a monk. You are a stressed-out human trying to find peace in a chaotic world. And if you approach meditation like some cookie-cutter lifestyle trend, you're not just wasting your time, you're rewiring your brain in ways that make real peace harder to find. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you off meditation completely. I'm saying it because you deserve to know the full picture, so you can do this safely and effectively. Meditation isn't dangerous if you understand how to work with your own physiology instead of against it. And that's what we're going to do now. Strip away the mystical nonsense and show you how your body and brain actually respond to meditation, so you can approach it in a way that works with your biology instead of trying to override it. First, you need to understand how your autonomic nervous system actually works. This is the system that governs whether you feel safe or threatened. It's divided into two main branches. The sympathetic nervous system, which handles fight or flight responses, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which governs rest, digestion, and recovery. Proper meditation isn't about shutting off thoughts. It's about gently guiding your nervous system from sympathetic overdrive into parasympathetic regulation. That shift is where calm happens, not in the absence of thought, but in the presence of internal safety. Key to this process is your vagus nerve. Think of it as the master switch for your relaxation response. When the vagus nerve gets the right signals, it tells your body that it's safe to slow down. Breathing patterns are one of the fastest ways to trigger this. But, and this is where most self-help hustlers screw up, not all breathing is calming. If you force deep breaths into a body already stuck in fight or flight, you might actually amplify the stress response because your brain interprets forced breathing as a sign that something is wrong. This is why the very first step in safe, effective meditation isn't controlling your breath. It's observing it. When you sit down to meditate, the first thing you do is just notice how you're breathing. Is it high in your chest? Is it shallow? Is it fast? All of that is information. Your nervous system telling you where it's at. No judgment, no fixing, just observing. Once you've tuned into that baseline, the next step is gentle extension of your exhales. No dramatic sighs, no gasping breaths, just slightly longer exhales than inhales. This tells your vagus nerve that the threat has passed. That's the biological doorway into real meditation. Not clearing your mind, but showing your body that stillness isn't a threat. When you combine this gentle breath awareness with non-judgmental observation of thoughts, you're retraining your brain. Every time a thought pops up, and it will, because you're human, you don't chase it and you don't fight it. You just notice it, the same way you'd notice a cloud passing overhead. This isn't emptying your mind. It's building a safe container for your mind to process whatever comes up without activating the threat response. That's the foundation. And it works. Not because it's ancient or spiritual, but because it's how your nervous system is designed to work. This is step one. It's enough to get you started safely, but it's nowhere near enough to build a complete practice that actually fits your life, your mind, and your stress patterns. That's why I put together a free guide that covers the whole process, step by step, designed for people with busy lives and restless minds. You can download it right now using the link in the description. If you're serious about making meditation work and avoiding the psychological traps I warned you about, you need to read it. Because the alternative isn't just wasted time. It's wiring your brain for more stress, more confusion, and more vulnerability to anyone who wants to sell you peace without showing you how it actually works. If you found this useful, follow the channel. Not because I need followers, but because the next video breaks down what meditation actually is. And trust me, it's not what you think. See you there.